Good evening everyone and welcome to round number 2 of the COR Championship, as today the championship takes us under the floodlights and extreme heat of the desert at the Bahrain International Circuit. 5.4 kilometer, 15 corners in this layout, not too far away from the capital of the country, Manama. Has also three DRS zones, one into turn 1, another into turn 4, and another one into turn 11, promising to make things exciting in the laps to come. Expect some action into turn 1, of course a popular overtaking zone. Let's see if we could perhaps have a repeat of Hamilton's triple overtake back in 2018, or at least a maneuver or some action that would be as exciting. Also, we have a DRS zone into turn 4, so expect everyone that might get overtaken into turn 1 to try to pay back the favor into turn number 4, and especially in the first lap, pay attention to corner number 10. Very tricky braking zone, and especially in the opening lap, chaos might be had throughout that spot. Looking ourselves at the standings then, we have Recycle Finn leading the championship with 26 points to his name, 8 points ahead of Sloppy McFloppy, as GC Fungus in the best of the Purple Sharks sits in third. Following them, we have Juno in before a Swiffer in the second. Get Good closes the top 5. After that, we have the best Canadian in Marcel Abuff ahead of his teammate. 2 points behind separates the Asphalt Clowns, as we have Purple Sharks in 9th, in 8th, with Koshi Atingo in 9th for the Sweatfest Racing Team, and Jamie closes the top 10 with 1 single point. Then we have Calipo, Sarah, Mick, Absinthe, Rin, Alex, Willie P, Colin, Matador, and Slendrix, yet without any points scored so far. Moving to the constructors, we have Get Good with 28 points, leading Rapid Mummy by only 2 points, as we have Purple Sharks in third with 19, 5 points ahead of the Asphalt Clowns, as the Ovalo Vindicta follow in 5th with 12 points. 10 points ahead of the Sweatfest Racing Team, as the Royal Red Guys follow in 7th and are the last of the point scorers with only 1 point scored so far, as we have Box, Blazing Speed, and Acklin Racing Team are without any points scored so far. So, getting everything sorted out in my second monitor. And as you guys can see, qualifying has already started. We do not have, unfortunately for us, we do not have sound just yet, but I'm sure that we'll be back rather shortly, getting the details right. By the way, my cable on my controller is loose, so if the controller disconnects, I apologize, but at the moment it is the best cable I can work with, as GC Fungus loses the rear coming out of turn 4, slams into the wall, and doesn't look like it had damage, but is going to have to try again. He's going to abort that lap, I'm sure, and he's going to have to try again. So, Recycle Finn on the hards. Let's go on board with our championship leader, as he gets himself hard on the brakes 100 meters away from turn number 4, clipping the apex, going down to 3rd gear before accelerating smoothly as he can. Once again, he doesn't want a repeat of what happened to GC Fungus, avoiding the curb on the inside of turn number 7 as you start going downhill into the hairpin of turn number 8. Nice and wide approach, clipping the apex, keeping the apex speed as high as possible, and away he goes now to one of the trickiest spots in the entire track, hard on the brakes, but you must be smooth on their application as well. Turn 10 is away now, as we have the RS open into the rundown of turn 11. You brake at about 60 meters away from the corner, just turn the car into it as hard as you can, hoping it sticks, as you now start going uphill through 11 and 12 before going a bit on the brakes just getting the apex, exceeding a little bit on over the curb there, but hopefully the game won't give him a slap on the wrist. Calipos and Slouchy Carrot have already crossed the line. Sloppy McFloppy 129.4 on the hards. Recycle Finn, can he become the best of the hard runners so far? He's going to cross over the line, and it is a 128.3, actually beats Slouchy Carrot by 3/10. Beautiful lap from him, as then we are going to take a look at the other guys. We have Jamie in the 3rd sector. We have Alex Burry getting through the line to complete his first lap, and is going to get 6th. We have Jamie also getting himself in P4 with the 128.5. You have yellow flags in the third sector as Alex Burry is out of the session. We have Slendrix getting himself up to P8, and Matador is also close to finishing, and he gets himself up to a P6. So good lap from the Akin team guys as well, getting themselves in 6th and 9th so far. But yeah, very unfortunate stuff for Alex Burry, who's already out of the session, the Sweatfest guy. I don't know what happened to him, but he is out of this race. Maybe he spun coming out of turn 2. Nonetheless, the show must go on, as they say. Kalipos has set the fastest lap time so far, and we are getting ourselves looking at Colin. So Colin, Absinthe, and Fungus are going to be completing their fastest laps in the seconds to come. So Colin, the only driver present here today, driving for the Blazing Speed team, the number 41, getting himself up through the gears as well. He wants to get a better result for sure than the 12th place he got at Australia. Mistake, if I remember correctly, a mistake early on the race forced him to have to pit for a replacement of front wing. He managed to still come back and get P12, but unfortunately no points are awarded for that position, so he needs to get his point scoring season underway, and what a better chance than to get himself a good qualifying performance here at this Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's see how it goes. He's in the second sector at the moment, getting the car through turn number 11. Is going to start getting uphill. This is now a sensitive point of the track. If you touch the inside curb, you might lose the car. Looks like he did it quite well. Kept himself with a 1:06.2 total lap time as he gets to the end of sector 2. He went a bit over the line there, so I'm not sure if the game is gonna give him a slap on the wrist for that one or not, but we are going to find out soon. He's going to get himself over the last corner, turn number 15, going to open the RS, cross over the line. Was his lap nullified? No! New provisory pole for Colin. Great lap from him, 127.9, very well done from him, as we have Absinthe in the Oval Vindicta racing team. His teammate is currently in 14th on hards. Juno not having the greatest of laps on those hards, only 14th at the moment, so his teammate is going to try to do better than him. He is on the soft tires, at least on the graphic, even though the game is showing me Absinthe driving on hards, so I'm not sure which one is the correct. I'm going with the graphic of the game though, showing or saying to us that he's on the softs, so I'm going to trust that one. Oh, and this spins coming out of turn 13, he's going to the wall. Fortunately no damage for Absinthe, but he's going to be able to take the car into the pits and get himself a new set of tires and potentially try again. Don't know how good his lap was being, but nonetheless, he's going to take the opportunity to, or he has the opportunity to get back into the pits as Fungus gets himself a 127.9. He got the first podium of the season for him at Australia with the 3rd place, and now gets pole. Brilliant start to his season as well. So just taking a look at the guys currently on outlap. So we have Kalipos approaching turn 10. We have Jamie a bit further behind. We have Slendrix even further behind. Sloppy Mafloppy behind him. And Mick is ahead of everyone. Maybe even ahead of Kalipos. Not sure. No, he's not ahead of Kalipos. So it's going to be Kalipos, then Mick, and then I'm gonna figure out the order as the guys go. So taking a look at the moment at this is Kalipos. Yeah, this is Kalipos, the Royal Red driver. Didn't have the greatest of performances. He got 15th place. He was also one of the victims of a crash early on the race, just like his teammate. His teammate, though, showed signs of very good pace, managed to claim himself the last of the points-paying positions, but nonetheless, they showed promising pace during the first round at Albert Park. So let's see what the Royal Red guys do for now. Kalipos getting himself hard on the brakes into turn 1, clipping the curb. Is maintaining second gear. Some other cars or some other drivers might prefer first gear. He opts for the second one. He's away smoothly on the power. No tank slappers whatsoever before going on the brakes once again. 100 meters away from turn number 4. Smooth on the power, especially over the curb as he did there. Try to avoid the curbs. They can really unsettle the cars. We go now downhill into the hairpin of turn 8, getting a nice and wide approach once again. Smooth on the power, using every inch of the track available. Very well done from the Dutch driver. Going hard on the brakes now, down to second gear. That looked like he was approaching the corner too quick for a second. Managed to keep the car on the track. Getting himself now on the second DRS zone, sorry, the third DRS zone of this layout into the approach of turn 11. Going uphill once again. The car might try to get loose on him from the rear. Let's see how it goes. Waiting for the Rolex sign to go hard on the brakes into turn number 13, using every single bit of tarmac he can. Great lap so far, at least from the number 69. Let's see what he does now. The Dutchman is going hard on the brakes once again, 100 meters away from turn 14 and 15. Let's see, smooth on the power at the exit. He's going to be crossing over the line, and is he going to improve? It's going to be an improvement, 128.0. That is a lap time 1/10 of a second faster. Let's take a look as we have someone spun. It looked like it was either Slendrix or Matador. Not sure exactly who that was, but it looked to me like one of the Akin Racing guys. Let's see if they can still improve their lap times. We still have 7 minutes to go. Let's see how that one goes. Mick is going to abort his lap, going to get himself into the pits. Juno is currently in the third sector, so he's about to finish his lap, even though didn't nullify his lap is for some reason on 0, so maybe he was unhappy with that lap. Let's see how it goes for Rin. His teammate is in the third sector, but he is not improving, so he's not yet started with his flying lap. Slouchy Carrot is going in anger at the moment. Let's try to find out someone who might be further up on their flying lap. No, I don't seem to find anyone who's further up the order. Jamie is also on his out lap. Huh, that is interesting. Recycle Finn gets himself finally started. So let's take a look at Recycle Finn's lap. He's now on softs. So let's see the difference between his pace, between the hards and the softs. 128.3 in the first lap. Let's keep that one in mind as he gets himself now at the beginning of the second sector. He's on 0 ERS though, so not really sure what he's doing. He's not pushing. So let's try to find out someone who is. Matador. Let's get a look at him. The Canadian driver of the Akin team, or the Akin Racing team. Let's see how he gets himself through the second sector. As number 47 going to close the DRS as he goes hard on the brakes into turn number 11. He who got himself 11th place in the inaugural race. Couldn't quite get the points paying positions. He got overtaken in the closing stages of the races. Colin gets himself the fastest lap of the session so far. 127.8. Brilliant lap there from Colin. Very well done indeed. Let's see what the Canadian does. Again, as I was saying, he got jumped by Jamie in the last couple corners, or sorry, in the last couple laps, but it looks like Matador nullified his lap and is going to bring himself into the pits. So Recycle Finn looked like he was going to do the same. So Tingo is still is either on his out lap or on his in lap, because he's currently on 0 ERS. Colin already did his flying lap, and Fungus is in the wall again. Fungus, I believe this is, no, this is not the same exact spot. He already lost the rear coming out of turn 4. Now he loses the rear coming out of turn 8. And very unfortunate from him. He's struggling to get traction coming out of the corner, and he's losing a couple bits and pieces there of the front wing, and he's going to have to try again later on to improve his lap time. Slopping Mafloppy crosses the line, improves by a second, gets himself 6th place so far. Serum, is he on his flying lap? No, he's actually diving into the pits. Juno, let's take a look at him. He's already completed his lap. He's up to P11, so he is on his in lap at the moment. I honestly cannot find anyone who is on a flying lap. We have Marcel Abuff, who just improved to a 128.8, and is going to be on his in lap, I assume. Let's see, we have Slendrix just starting his flying lap. So let's take a look at the driver from Argentina, the second driver of the Akin Racing team. His teammate Matador is currently in the pits in P10. Of course, he made his lap on the soft. Slendrix made his previous lap on the hards, on the mediums. So let's see what Slendrix does at this point. He's giving it pins, as you can see by the modes number 5 on his ERS. Gets now downhill into turn number 8. So let's see what he does. He also is one of the guys who missed out on the points last race, finished P13, 2 places behind his teammate. So despite not getting points, he was beaten by his teammate. I'm pretty sure he wants to get back leading in terms of the inter-teammate rivalry. He's going to take as much of the track as possible, going to break over the curb. Not much grip there, I would say, but the drivers are trying to take that risk. They are risking locking up a tire there because there's not as much grip on the curb, I would say, but they are taking that risk, and if it gets him a couple tenths, it is worth it. I am sure of that. So let's see, now Slendrix is going to approach the final corner of the circuit once again, not exceeding the track limits, but trying to get as much of an angle, as good of an angle into the last corner as he can. He crosses over the line. P5 for the Akin Racing driver at the moment with a 1:28.1. So very well done from him. Let's now take a look at Tingo, who is also about to start his lap. I believe Tingo just started his lap. Let's see how it goes for him. And yes, he is pushing, but it looks like he invalidated his first lap. I don't know if he has enough ERS to go pushing for a second lap. Let's see though what the Sweatfest driver does. We also have one of the box guys behind. Not sure who it is, if it is Serum or Meek. I'm going to believe it is Meek because his teammate is on his out lap. Oh, Tingo nullifies. Maybe he cut a corner there and got his lap invalidated. Tingo actually retires from the session. We have just about 1 minute left. Mick is going to take his car. He's actually going to try to save the tires for a flying lap later on. I'm not sure. Let's take a look at Recycle Finn. Actually, let's take a look at his teammate. Rin. He is not too far behind in terms of track position. It is also not too far behind in terms of the standings themselves. It's just 1 place behind, 2 tenths slower than Finn. So the Rapid Mami team is showing promising signs of a great season for them. Rin unfortunately couldn't finish the race in Albert Park, so is going to try to get himself on the point scoring positions for the first time in this season. Let's see how it goes, getting himself now through the third DRS zone right before turn number 11, going to start uphill. Now you must be smooth on the power, you can't be too harsh on it or you might lose the rear, getting himself hugging the apex of turn number 12, and now through turn 13, clipping the apex quite nicely. Recycle Finn is going to nullify his lap, it looks like, as Matador and Slendrix are 5th and 6th. Very well done by the Akin Racing boys as they get shown the checkered flag. Mick and Marcel Leboeuf have been shown the checkered flag as well, as Rin is going to cross over the line, and it is going to be third place for him. Very well done. We have Juno also on his flying lap. We have someone else, it was Absinthe, getting 11th place. Recycle Finn has retired from the session, so he's not going to improve on that. Serum is also not improving for the time being. The box driver retires from the session. Let's see how it goes now for Juno, but before that we are going to take a look at Colin and Fungus. They are quite close to each other actually on the track, as Colin loses the rear, and I'm not sure if he hit the wall there, but there's a big mistake from him. Let's take a look at Juno as he's about to finish his lap. He's improving by about 4 tenths so far. That would get him up into a P11, I would say. Can he improve any more than that? Jamie gets the fastest lap of the race so far for the Royal Red team, and Juno gets himself, improves by 3 tenths, so he lost a little bit through the last corner, gets himself P12 for the time being. We have Ozone Sloppy Mafloppy, who is getting 10th place, so he's not really improving his lap time. Then Colin had a big mistake. Fungus now gets himself provisory pole, and Colin with his mistake is going to set himself or settle himself for a P3. Fungus, brilliant lap there, getting himself on a pole position for this Bahrain Grand Prix. 127.5, very nicely done from the Purple Sharks team, as the British driver has claimed the podium at Australia and is now in prime position for a good result here at Bahrain. Looking at chat, welcome chat to the live stream. How are you guys doing? I am just commentating for this one. Yes, I'm just a commentator for this league, so let's see how it goes. We finally get sound back in the game. And yeah, there you have it. Fungus takes home pole of these Bahrain Grand Prix. So we are going to get ourselves to the official results. Fungus P1, Jamie P2, Colin P3, Rin P4, Kalipos P5, Salchi Carrot P6, Matador P7, Slendrix P8, Stingo P9, and Sloppy Floppy in P10. Look at how competitive this is. All top 12 are fitting within a second. 7th up to I would say 4th are separated by about a 10th or 2 as well. So very competitive grid we have at the moment. As then we have a Recycle Fin, Juno. Oh, sorry about that, the time ran out. But Recycle Fin, I would say that was a bit of a strategic blunder for him. I would be pretty sure he would try, unless he nullified his last flying lap, I would be pretty sure he would try to qualify in the top 10 on the mediums. So maybe a bit of a strategic blunder for Recycle Fin, as we wait for everyone to get through the loading procedures, as everyone is fixing their strategies, discussing them with their Jeffs, their in-game race engineers. We're going to also discuss a bit about the strategy. From my data, you can go from mediums to hards at lap 11, or you can go from hards to mediums, pitting at about lap 15, or if those who started on the softs can go soft, medium, medium, pitting for the first time at lap 8 and for the second time at lap 17. Looking at chat, Ruben, what league are you in? I am on this league, just the Formula 2 league. This is the F1 League. I take part of the Formula 2 league, so yeah, that's the one I'm taking a part of, and I also am a reserve for R and L. Yesterday I was doing the F2 race there for the reserve drivers that don't actually make it into the race, that are not actually replacing anyone, because none of the drivers are missing the race. So just for the reserve drivers and the race engineers for each team that are not racing, they can have a for fun race in the F2 cars before the actual race for R and L. But yeah, looking now at the orders, you can see we are going to get ourselves god damn it, my cable of this controller is actually trolling me quite hardcore. But taking a look at the details, as you can see, everyone in the top 10 apart from Sloppy Mafloppy and Rin are starting on the medium. So Rin out qualifying his teammate for the first time this season. I would say Recycle Fin is starting from P11, is starting on brand new mediums, and he has demolishingly fast pace. He's going for the one stop. Let's see if he's able to keep up with the cars around and ahead of him, at least his most direct rivals, like I would say Fungus, Jamie, Juno. Is he going to... Juno is behind, but nonetheless, is he going to be able to drive off and catch up to the guys that are on the softs and try to take advantage of the one stop, or are the soft runners going to have too much pace that allows them to get back the time lost by pitting one extra time? We are going to find out rather soon, I would say. Let's see how it goes. We have Fungus getting himself to the last corner. Jamie completes the front row as we have Colin in P3. Great performance from the Blazing Speed driver. He finished P12 at Australia, so hopefully he can have a good race today. Rin DNF'd in Albert Park. Hopefully he can get a good points out at the end of the race. He's going to be the first of the drivers starting on the mediums. He's probably going to be on the same strategy as his teammate. Let's see how that one develops. Alex Burry had a crash early on qualifying, couldn't go past P17, but he is definitely a very strong driver as well. Unfortunately, couldn't complete the previous race at Albert Park, so hopefully he can also get a start to his point scoring season as well. Now, we are going to get ourselves ready. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. A slow start there from Colin. Rinrin already moves up to P3. Fungus might also be under pressure. No, it's actually Jamie who might be under pressure from Rinrin. Let's see who is the last of the late breakers into the inside. We have Jamie, there's contact. Jamie loses a couple places. There is chaos. Jamie gets himself in a P2. Colin P3. Rinrin P4. Still drag racing him into turn number 4. Rinrin backs out. Maintains P4, Matador up to P5, Calipos P6, Slandrix P7, Recycle Finn down to P12, Alex Burry going around the outside of everyone, actually of Absinthe, as well as there's contact between Absinthe and Recycle Finn. I believe Recycle Finn actually lost a couple end plates on the left side of his car. I'm going to try to take a look at that. Yes, there is damage in the left side of the front wing. I believe a driver lost the rear coming out of turn number 4 and slammed into the side of Recycle Finn's car. Sloppy Moflop is also battling and maintains P14, but nonetheless dropped a few places since the start. Matador jumps, Rain gets himself up to P4. Calipos is also trying to take a look at that one, trying to pick up any pieces that might come his way. Rinrin is going to try to strike back around the outside of turn number 12. He manages to maintain P4. Great defensive maneuver there from Rinrin. Matador might now be under pressure as Fungus with a mistake for the third time in this race weekend. Fungus is in the wall. He's really struggling with traction the entire session of qualifying, and it looks like his problems continue into the race. Fungus is going to make a pit stop to replace his front wing, and very unfortunate from the Purple Sharks driver. He is at the moment taking a big knock at any chances of taking the race win. There's also more chaos into turn 1 once again. There's 4 wide, there's contact, and there's a spin. That is Slandrix who spun. There's also a rapid mommy guy who spun. That Recycle Fin, yes, that was Recycle Fin. Recycle Fin is missing the side end plates on, or missing the end plates on both sides of his front wing. Is going surely to pit for replacement of that front wing. That was never going to work. It was 4 wides there. There was really never going to work. Very unfortunate stuff, but with such a tight field, sometimes those things happen, as Marcel Buff is going to have a traction battle with Mick into turn number 9 and 10. Hard on the brakes. Marcel Buff, the Canadian, goes on the curb, but it's actually going to go for the switchback as a bit of banging with the Shack driver of the Box team himself, as Serum looks like made a mistake. Further back the grid, he lost the place to Recycle Fin. Marcel Above forced Mick to get a bit wide. Let's see how it gets now as he's going around the outside of turn number 12, and he massively gets himself up to a P11. Great maneuver there from Marcel Above, the Canadian, getting himself up to P11 right behind his Asphalt Clown's teammate, as we have Tingo challenging Juno for position number 8. Tingo is on the softs, Juno is on the hards. Juno is going to struggle a little bit perhaps, especially on the exiting speed, the exiting traction. Of course, both these drivers got their lines compromised because of the battle. Slouchy Carrot is going to try to take some pieces that might come his way. Is he going to try the switch back on Juno? He is going to try to do that indeed, but Juno also was able to get a good enough exit to pull away. Now Tingo is going to be a prey for Juno, or will he not? Looks like not. Looks like Juno was too far away. Tingo did not get the RS, but also Juno did not get a good enough exit because of course his hard tires don't give him as much traction. Recycle Fin and Slandrix are in the pits. Actually, was that lag, or maybe it was just the time? The camera angle didn't quite help. Maybe it was just the time the car was stopped because of the replacing of the front wing. But nonetheless, a great luck, or not great luck, but great performance so far from Rinrin. Qualified in P4, is already up to P3, benefiting from the mistake of JC Fungus. So we have a battle for P13. Alex Burry is having some battle there with Serum, as the box driver made a mistake into turn 10, but he's going to get the RS nonetheless, and is going to get his way back up, but he gets too deep into the corner. Alex Burry is going to do the switchback, going to say thank you very much, and moves himself up to P13. Now we have Rin pressurizing Jamie. He's going to get DRS on the Royal Red car. Let's see how the Royal Red driver can defend. Is Jamie going to keep himself to the outside or the inside? It looks like he's going to put his cards on the outside. Jamie, is he going to try the switchback? No, he did not. And Rin gets himself an easy maneuver up to P2. Brilliant start of the race so far for the British driver of the Rapid Mummy team. Brilliantly done so far. Serum and Alex Burry are going at another round of their fight, and once again Alex Burry does the switchback, going around the outside of turn 2, and great maneuver, great response from Alex Burry. Despite having harder compound of tires, is consistently getting better traction than his rival. Of course, Mick with DRS tried to get himself a look at the inside, but Burry maintains a P13 once and for all, hopefully for him. Jamie still maintaining himself less than a second away from Rin, and Rin is starting to close in on Colin. Colin was pulling away from Jamie, but he's actually losing time to Rin, so he's the British driver is one of the fastest at the moment on the track. He's soon going to be right on the gearbox of the fucking speed team, or the Blazing Speed team. Of course, Colin did not manage to finish, he did not manage to finish the race in the points. I was going to say he wasn't able to finish the race altogether. No, he wasn't able to finish the race in the points, but he's now leading the race, and there's absolutely probably a mistake. A spin coming out of corner number 13, and he drops down to P14. That's very unfortunate from him. The Ovolo Vindicta racing team is not having the greatest of performances so far. Sloppy Mafloppy overtakes Calipos under DRS conditions, and Calipos is going to stay put with 5th place at the moment. He's going to be able to come back at his rival now. He did have DRS, but at this point of the race, I am sure the soft runners are starting to struggle a little bit on their tires. So Sloppy Mafloppy is going to start pulling away, just like Rin at this point has a better state, or his rubber, the rubber on his tires is in better condition than Collins. As Recycle Fin gets the fastest lap, he's going to start his charge. You can never count out Recycle Fin. Yes, he broke his front wing. Yes, he had to pit an extra stop, or pit one extra time, but he's so quick, you must never count out the performance of Recycle Fin. Is definitely still one of the contenders for this race. Rin is still chasing down Colin. It's going to be a battle between the Rapid Mummy in 2nd place and the Blazing Speed driver that's currently leading. It would also be, in case Colin finishes in the points, it is going to be the first time this season the Blazing Speed guys finish on the point pink positions, and if that was a race win or at least a podium, it would be an amazing kickstart to the season of these guys. Rin going to get DRS wide open at the back. Engine mode number 4, or at least energy deployment mode number 4, is going hard on the brakes and gets himself one of the easiest maneuvers we are going to see today. Up to P1 is the Rapid Mum driver. Tingo gets himself into the pits to get rid of his soft tires. I would expect him to pit a little bit later, but let's see how it goes. What drive is going on? What tires is he going on? He's going on the hards, so he's not going soft, medium. He's probably going soft, hard, soft. Let's see how that one develops from him. That might actually prove worthy. Let's see how it goes. He's going to get himself back on the track. Is it going to be ahead of Fungus? Looks like so, but Fungus is going to get around the outside. He has softer tires, warmer tires as well, and gets himself up to P13. Good maneuver there from the pole sitter for this race, who unfortunately had a spin coming out of turn number 13, and is currently down to P13 as well. Jumping back to the front, Rin is starting to pull away from Colin, so he's not really getting bothered by him. These two are 2 seconds away from Jamie in the best of the Royal Red cars. Still, good performance so far from Jamie. Nicely done. He at least doing much better than at Australia. At Australia, he was running in the top 3 as well before a mistake put him in the wall at the exit of the high-speed chicane of turns 11 and 12. And unfortunately, he was able to try to do damage control. Finish the race in P10. He's going to the pits at the moment. He's going to follow Colin in. But we also have a battle. No! Oh, they are stacking. The Royal Red guys are stacking. Calipos is going to follow Jamie, or was that just a glitch for me? I'm not sure. That was confusing there for a second. Everything lagged there for a second. We also have one of the Akin Racing guys pitting in the same place for some reason. That was all very confusing. Colin gets back on track in P9. Marcel LaBeouf overtakes Slouchy Carrot in the meantime as well. Jamie gets P10. Calipos behind his teammate in P11. Matador in P12. Jamie is going on hards. Calipos is going on medium. So Jamie is going on soft, hard, soft. Calipos is going on soft, medium, medium. Let's see which strategy for the Royal Red guys is going to be the best. Now, taking a look further up the order, we have Juno. I've been watching some mentions of Juno and Underdog in the same sentences. We have a battle for P4. Marcel LaBeouf and Slouchy Carrot are duking it out. The Asphalt Clowns are duking it out for the top 4. Let's see how it goes. Slouchy Carrot taking a look at the inside of Marcel LaBeouf, but the Canadian pinches into the inside of the corner, doesn't let him go on the power as early as he probably wanted, and manages to hold on to P4. The Canadian, brilliant maneuver there. Marcel LaBeouf is on medium, Slouchy Carrot is on soft, so it is going to be interesting to see, is Slouchy Carrot going to pit at the end of this lap. He's currently the only starter of the race on the softs that hasn't pitted yet, so let's see how it goes. He's going to pull off into the pits. No, he does not. He's still trying to get himself slipstream and DRS from his teammate, so he feels like it's more beneficiary to keep himself on the slipstream and DRS of the cars around him than losing time and potentially coming out of the pits in traffic and losing out in terms of the overall strategy for this race. Juno keeps himself in P3, is pulling away from the Asphalt Clown drivers as they have been battling each other, so Juno is still 1 second away from Marcel LaBeouf. As we have Absinthe, Team Juno's teammates, duking out with Colin. Of course, Colin has brand new tires, brand new mediums, as Absinthe is on 7-lap-old hards. He hasn't pitted yet, if I'm not mistaken. He did have a mistake. He did spin at the exit of turn 13 earlier on this race, but he is currently in with his 7 laps old hards, and there wasn't a chance for him to come back at Colin, who's in on a little bit of a charge. He's also now trying to hunt down Alex Burry. Are going to see in the laps to come how that one develops, as looking back onto the battle for the top 4. There's a mistake from Slouchy Carrot. He loses the rear coming out of turn 12. He avoids the wall, or at least he touches the wall, but not enough to get front wing damage. And oh, that was close, as both Royal Red cars were coming through. But Slouchy Carrot, very unfortunate. These tires were giving up on him. The soft 7 laps is stretching a little bit on them, and unfortunately for him, the tires just gave up on him. The rears are very tricky going through that corner, and he is down to P12. Very unfortunate stuff to see. He, maybe in hindsight, of course, hindsight's always 2020, but he could have gotten himself a brand new set of tires. He looking at the back there of the picture of that shot there to turn 1. Colin has a go at Alex Burry, and Absinthe might try to take any pieces. No, Burry gets the DRS, so Absinthe can't try to overtake the Sweatfest racing car. Colin is charging. He knows he has an opportunity to at least get the podium here today, and is not going to let it go that easily. Great performance so far from Colin. He is up to a P6. Marcel LaBeouf, after his teammates' mistakes, he has been able to push Luke ahead, and now Juno is going to be paying attention to his mirrors as Jamie is jerking it out with... Oh no! Jamie made a mistake! He's quite out of control! Jizzy Fungus catches up to him, and Jamie is down to P13. So Jamie was running in P3 before the pit stop, and this mistake is going to take a big knock at his chances for a podium here today. Calipos is going to have the relief of not having to deal with an inter-teammate battle if you wanted to move up the grid. Currently in P9. Juno, of course, eventually that was going to happen, but I'm surprised it happened even before the last corner. Will Juno have DRS to answer back? Let's see. Yes, he does have DRS on the back of his car. Of course, the exiting speed wasn't as great because he has harder compound, so not as good of traction. Absent also overtook Alex Burry. In the meantime, Marcel Leboeuf goes defensive. Juno is going to take a wider approach to the entry. Not enough exiting speed to get to Marcel Leboeuf. At least immediately is going to get DRS, but it looks to me like the distance is just too big. Yes, it is indeed. Marcel Leboeuf is able to pull away with the move and gets himself P3. Recycle Finn overtook Jamie and now overtakes JC Fungus. Great maneuver from the Finn. Of course, you can never count this car number 59 out of a race. Is already up to P12. It's going to pit one more time, but he definitely has the fastest or one of the fastest race pace of his rivals. He just got the fastest lap for about 3 to 4 times in a row and is now pressurizing Slotchy Carrot. Despite Carrot being on the soft tires, he hasn't pitted yet. 9 laps old are those softs. Recycle Finn is getting himself on the switchback. Great maneuver there. He's also obviously getting better traction and moves up to P11, overtaking 3 cars in the span of just 1.5 sectors, basically. Great lap from Recycle Finn. He is up to P11. Now, taking a look at Juno, who is trying to chase down Marcel Leboeuf, but he has been losing out space in the previous lap. So, unfortunately for him, he's not really able to keep up with Marcel Leboeuf. Of course, all 3 cars ahead of him are on softer tires, so in theory they should have better pace. Juno is going to try to hang on to this as long as possible using the DRS and the slipstream, of course, but he just needs to keep himself out of mistakes. He's making the one stop work so far as Alex Burry gets himself into the pits after 10 laps on the medium. Slotchy Carrot, was that another mistake? He's dropping down. I can't, my controller is trolling me. I would like to take a look. Okay, he's going to the pits. That is why he was losing out so many places. I thought that was a mistake for a second. Come on, cable. Thank you very much. Can I get this thing to work, please? Bloody hell! I'm sorry about this, guys. It's just, this is the best cable I have. I apologize, but... Can you hold yourself in place, please? Okay. Now, it is supposed to be connected. The controller is working, game. Come on. Oh my god, this is actually actively trolling me. Okay, I'm going to have to deal with the keyboard, I guess. I'm sorry about this, guys, but yeah. It's going to be as it is, so... Now, let's take a look. It's the first time for me using the keyboard for this menu, so it might be a bit tricky. Let's see how it goes. So, looking down at the order, Juno is still keeping himself within a second of Marcel Leboeuf, so at least on that department, Juno is fine. The Oval of Vindicta driver got himself 4th place as there's a mistake from Colin! Sorry, not Colin, but Mick, the box driver, loses the rear coming out of turn 2, and the number 14 is on the gravel. He might get disqualified for reversing. Oh, fortunately he was able to avoid a disqualification. And he's going to drop himself down to P10. So Recycle Finn, he's already on the points paying positions. Look at that. Make a awful mistake there from the box driver. The Czech driver of the box team is down to P10 after quite a bad mistake. Jamie is trying to get himself back at Fungus. He has harder tires, but also much fresher tires. So let's see how that battle is going to develop in the laps to come. Juno has closed down on Marcel Leboeuf in the previous lap, so Juno might be in striking range for an overtaking opportunity. Let's see how it goes for Jamie. He's going to get the RS wide open. He's not going to beat the traction of Fungus, at least initially, even though Fungus has been struggling with traction for the entire race. He spun 3 times in this race weekend already, but Jamie wasn't able to get himself up into P11. Going to take a look at Juno as Rinrin is going to the pits. Stopping and Flop is also going to the pits, so it's time for the medium starters to start getting themselves in the pits to a set of hearts to complete the one-stop Rin. Let's try to find out where he's going to come out of the pits. and he comes out of the pits ahead of Absinthe, right behind Colin, who has to pit once again, and Rinrin is going to have a go. He's not going to wait any longer. He's actually going to have a go inside of Colin, and he does pull it off up into P3. Is Rinrin already? Sloppy Mafloppy is on the hards and came out of the pits behind, right ahead of Kalipos, even though Kalipos has softer tires. Those are also much older, so things might get dicey between the two of them as we have a battle for the last of the points paying positions. Jamie pressurizing Fungus a lot. Mick has been trying to pick up any pieces from that. Let's see how it goes for him, going on board with the Shack driver. After his mistake, he's going to try to get back into the points paying positions. Of course, his tires might be scarred from locking them up as he was trying to gain control. There's a spin there from Fungus. I don't know to what extent Jamie didn't apply the hit and run strategy there, but nonetheless, Jamie is up to P10. Mick might actually have a go around the outside of turn 11 as well. He backs out, and might that actually play into the hands of Tingo, who is going to try to pick up any pieces that might come his way. Looking at the front though, Marcel Leboeuf. Juno inherits the lead as Marcel Leboeuf is going to the pits to get himself rid of his tires. He's going to change into a set of brand new hards. The game had a spaz there. I apologize for that one. It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything. So it is going to be a 9th place at least for the moment for Marcel Leboeuf. He's going to be outside of top 10. He's going to rejoin right on the battle, right behind, as Mick looks like he's made a wrong mistake. No, Mick is adding into the pits, so he's joining right ahead of Tingo, right in the thick of it for the battle for the last of the points paying positions. Fungus, is he going to come back at Jamie? Let's take a look at that. Jamie goes defensive. GC Fungus is going to try the switchback. Doesn't quite work. He's going to have to stay put in P10 for the time being. Looking at a potential battle up ahead, Rin is on 1 lap old tires. Juno is just on 12 laps older tires, so it's going to be a sitting duck, to say the least. Serum retires from the session. You have yellow flags in sector 1. Is it going to be a safety car of any sort? Doesn't look like it, but Serum probably lost the rear coming out of turn 2 and beamed himself on the wall. We have Jamie and Fungus having a go at it through the sweeping corners of 11 and 12. Great maneuver there from Fungus to get himself back up. Rin gets the RS and gets past Juno. Someone else left the session. I got the message there. Couldn't quite catch who that was, but maybe someone disconnected. Not sure, but nonetheless, we are going to be taking a look at the battle there. So we have GC Fungus going into the pit, so he's going to get rid of his 12 lap old mediums, and both Tingo and Marcel Leboeuf are 10th and 11th at the moment. Jamie loses out there from Marcel Leboeuf, and there's contact with the Canadian. Jamie has contact with Canadian, and Tingo takes advantage of that, gets himself up to P9. Is Jamie going to pull off? It looked like he was going to pull off to the side. Is maybe going to let the Canadian through, so great sportsmanship there, as there's Alex Burry in the wall. Alex Burry came flying right into the wall. The camera isn't quite helping me. For sure has damage there. The camera is really not helping me. Yeah, this camera is not actually helping me whatsoever. But Jamie having a good sign of sportsmanship there, letting the Canadian back through to P10. Alex Burry managed to not retire the car, managed to not get terminal damage, but yes, severe damage on both sides of his front wing. Slandrix, who previously got a 5-second penalty, don't know what for, I didn't quite catch the entire message, but Slandrix is getting himself promoted. Rin gets the fastest lap of the race, and now it is Slouchy Carrot and Alex Burry, sorry, not Slouchy Carrot and GC Fungus, both overtaking the Sweatfest car as they are still battling each other for a 13th place. Let's see how that one develops between these two. Slouchy Carrot is approaching the corner where he had a massive mistake in previous laps, and Fungus, he got pole, so he's definitely quick around this circuit. So let's take a look to find out what happens here. Recycle Finn moves himself up to P5 And Slouchy Carrot manages to outbrake Fungus into the last corner. Fungus is going to have the opportunity to get the arrest though. Slandrix is not too far ahead, but Slouchy Carrot does not benefit of the arrest. GC Fungus is going to have it though, and is going to take it around the outside of turn 1. Will Carrot be able to defend? No, he does not. And he gives up 13th place, at least for now. Jumping back to Recycle Fin, he has been having an amazing race so far. He hasn't pitted before or since his crash, since his mistake that forced him to pit onto hards. He still has to pit once again onto mediums, but at least he's doing so far to get himself without of issues. Since then, he's currently in P5. He's been benefiting from the mistakes from others, and he still has, still is on the cards for a great performance today. Let's not. Oh, there is an overtaking maneuver there from Colin to Juno. Colin has much fresher tires than Juno. Juno could already pit, I would say. Juno could already pit for mediums. Mediums can last 12 laps, I would say, right? So, yeah, and Sloppy Maflop is trying to have a go at Recycle Fin into the inside of turn 1. Manages to regain the top 5 position. The American driver is up to a P6, but Recycle Fin takes it back to him and gets himself a bit of a mistake there from Sloppy Mafloppy coming out of turn number 3. And Recycle Fin says thank you very much and moves up to P5 once again. But as I was saying, so it is 3 plus 6, it is 9 plus 2, it is 11. So about 11 seconds only separating Recycle Fin from Rin. Of course, Rin doesn't have to pit anymore, but Recycle Fin still is in striking distance once he pits for a solid points paint position, I would say. Let's see if that actually happens. Calipos is in the background of that shot there, is currently on 10 laps old mediums. I'm pretty sure he's going to switch soon for another set of mediums. Currently P7 for the Royal Red driver. As we're going to take this opportunity to take a look again at Sloppy Mafloppy, who is, I'm going to get on board on. Actually not, because he has the glitch of the revs, and Colin gets himself in the pits. He's going to get done with his second pit stop. Let's see where he comes out of the pit set. Let's see how it goes for him. He's going to drop a couple places. Calipos is also diving into the pits. So let's see, and Alex Burry is disqualified from the session for driving in the wrong way. So maybe he had a mistake. He was trying to get back on the track, but got disqualified. The Sweatfest racing driver. Very unfortunate stuff for Alex. And Colin comes out in P6. Calipos is going to come out in at least P10. Will Matador get up to him? Let's see how it goes. Jamie overtakes Marcel Buff in the meantime, and Matador, not quite sure where is. Okay, Calipos is far away. Jamie is coming wheel to wheel with Marcel Buff, so the British driver and the Canadian have another round of battling. Marcel Buff manages to keep himself in P8 for the time being. Taking another look at Recycle Fin, who's very close to Absinthe. Absinthe is on basically the same strategy, I would say, even though he has on 2 laps older tires and he hasn't shown the same kind of pace as Recycle Fins. We're going to take a look on... no, we're actually not going to take a look on board with Sloppy Mafloppy, because again, he has that glitch on the revs. Recycle Fin has the same glitch as well, so let's see how it goes. Would Absinthe not avoid losing 2 places at the moment? No, actually looks like Absinthe is going to the pits. Recycle Fin and Sloppy Mafloppy are both going to take the RS, so I don't expect the American to get past the Fin, at least on this lap. Let's see how it goes. Mick gets a 3-second time penalty for extending the track limits one too many times, it looks like. And the number 96, getting himself overtaken by Colin, is going on softs. He's going to try to take softs for 10 laps, as I believe he was doing soft, hard, soft, so he's going to complete that on the softs, and he's going to rejoin right in the thick of the battle between Marcel Leboeuf and Jamie for P7. Ooh, that could have gone dicey there, as Marcel Leboeuf's rear right and the front wing of Absinthe came awfully close to each other. And Marcel Leboeuf is going to have to defend once again his hard tires versus the brand new soft tires of Absinthe. Is going to get better traction, the overload Vindicta driver, and he moves up to P7. Great maneuver there. Jamie might try to pick up any pieces from that. No, he does not. And then we have Kalipos on mediums, still lurking behind this group, and he might pick up any pieces that might come his way. So Jamie and Kalipos. Jamie is going to pit again. Kalipos doesn't have to pit until the end of the race. Marcel Leboeuf doesn't have to do so either. So Jamie, he might struggle here for a top 10 end of the race. Sloppy Mofloppy got himself past Recycle Finn, as Recycle Finn is clearly at this point struggling on his hards and is going to the pits. Juno is doing the same. Let's take a look at where Juno is coming out. Juno gets parked on his garage, gets already released. Set of soft, red marked softs for Juno. And Recycle Finn is... what? Okay, that was weird. Is going to drop down to P4 Juno. Recycle Finn, yeah, he didn't actually show his animation of making his pit stop, so that's why he jumped backwards there for a second. Tingo overtakes Recycle Finn. Absinthe as well, and is also one of the drivers that's going to rejoin right in P7, as Marcel Leboeuf is... that might actually save him, because he's going to get the RS, I believe. No, actually, he does not get the RS. So Jamie might have a look at him. Let's see how it goes for Jamie. We're actually going to look at Kalipos, who has a good view of the battle for 8th place. Jamie has much older tires. He's going to have to pit soon, I am sure of. But he's still keeping himself up to the pace of Marcel Leboeuf. So great performance from Jamie, despite being on older tires. He's still keeping up with the Canadian, even though Kalipos has not only fresher tires, much fresher tires, but also softer tires. So he has a massive pace advantage over these two guys. So he needs to make quick work of them and then try to blow away. There's contact between him and his teammate, and Jamie drops down to P10. Kalipos is going to move up to P9. No sportsmanship between the teammates, as at least on my screen it looked like it was contact. Maybe there wasn't contact whatsoever, but Jamie, very important for his strategy, Jamie manages to get himself in P9. But yeah, as I was saying, Recycle Finn, you can never ever count him out. He's going to start closing in on Absinthe and Tingo, who are both battling for P5. Absinthe is definitely going to get the RS. Tingo, is he going to the pits? Looks like no. He's going to hold on to these hard tires, and Recycle Finn is not going to get the RS on this exact instance, but he's going to start getting the RS on the duo ahead of him very soon, and he's actually going to get himself a good chance at closing the race in the top 5. 8 laps to go here at this Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's see. Recycle Finn did not qualify in the top 10. He had a bit of a botched strategic choice in qualifying. He still started on menu mediums. He was going for the one stop, but he was involved in accident. There was at lap number 2 or 3, there were at one point 4 wide coming out to turn 2, and there's just no space. There were 4 wide and people were collected. Recycle Finn was one of the cars that came out in the worst end of the deal there. Absinthe gets absolutely slammed in the back by Recycle Finn, and Recycle Finn makes his way up to P5. That could help his case if he let Absinthe by, but he's not going to do that. And Kalipos is actually battling Jamie for P9. Jamie is going to have a go around the outside. Marcel Leboeuf is holding on to P8, despite Kalipos having softer, fresher tires, and that has allowed Jamie to get back at his teammate. Might we have again a bit of a bump and run action between the teammates? It is going to be quite interesting, because they are getting a bit feisty there in the Royal Red team. That's certainly going to make things interesting, because we are already getting this level of contact, and we are just on the second race of the season. So it's certainly going to be a promising duo to follow throughout the season. Tigo is going to the pits. Kalipos is finally going to get the overtaking done on Marcel Leboeuf using the RS, and Jamie might do the same. We're going to follow on board with the British driver. Marcel Leboeuf, the Canadian, is taking slipstream off of Kalipos. He does not have the RS though, but that might have just been just enough to allow him to survive the charge of Jamie. Of course, Jamie also has much older tires, so the traction levels aren't exactly equal. He had to lift off there as Marcel Buff didn't get a good run through turn 7. He's going to try to switch back coming out of turn 8. He does get better power application despite having almost double of the tire usage as Marcel Buff the Canadian goes later on the brakes, and he also at the inside line manages to keep himself in 8th place. Stingo, after his pit stop, he comes out in P13, but he is on softs and he already overtook Slotchy Carrot, so he's going to be charging, trying to get himself a point-spank position. Calipos is starting to pull away as there's Absinthe somewhere in the wall at the exit of turn number 11. There was a bit of carbon fiber on the track as well, so there is damage, as you can see, massive damage on the left-hand side of the front wing of Absinthe. Oh, and we have another mistake possibly. Colin, he possibly had a spin coming out of the last corner because he's dropped down to P5 for no apparent reason, and Recycle Finn is one step closer to the podium. Recycle Finn was close to last place. He was in the pit stop at the end of lap number 2 and he's made his way up to P4. Marcel Leboeuf and Jamie are still going at another round. Jamie got the RS this time around, but it's not all said and done yet. Marcel Leboeuf does have fresher tires, he does have the DRS, he's going to try to get a better traction coming out of turn number 4. He gets a bit shoved away by Jamie. Oh god, is there going to be contact there? There wasn't contact, but he's going to try to get the switchback done on Jamie. He's going to dive down the inside of turn number 8, and there's contact with Jamie again. Ooh, that is getting definitely dicey there. Jamie moves himself back up to P7. They are going all out on track, battling for P7. Jamie was racing on the podium early on the race before a half spin cost him the chances to battle for the top 3. He's currently in P7 on much older tires that are going to be on risk of imploding on him soon, as he actually takes a compromised line through turns number 12, 11 and 12. Marcel Buff sees the opportunity, gets down the inside of turn 13. Great maneuver there from him. Recycle Finn gets the arrest. This is for 3rd place, and Recycle Finn, great recovery drive from him, is going to get himself up in P3. Juno is no slouch either. He's on the softs, might be able to come back at Recycle Finn. We are going to take a look at that for the laps to come. Marcel Leboeuf is chasing down Jamie, who apparently overtook Marcel Leboeuf even before the start-finish straight, and on top of that adds DRS. So Marcel Leboeuf is going to answer back with the RS now into turn number 4. Absinthe is trying to salvage 9th place. He knows that if he pits, he's going to lose a very big amount of time, so he's going to try to salvage, nurse the car home, and he's going to try to just keep himself out of mistakes. He's losing very big amount of time per lap. Absinthe, I'm assuming, has completely no sidewall of the front wing on the left hand side and no end plates as well, so he basically has, I would say, orange wing damage on the left side of his front wing. Of course, you can see the amount of elements that are missing off that left side, and it is going to struggle for sure. Matador is going to be charging in, trying to get 9th place away from him. We have 4 laps. Will Absinthe be able to survive? We are going to be here to find out, I am sure. Recycle Finn has already pulled 2 seconds away from Juno. Rin, look at this, he has been dominating this race. Absolutely no mistakes whatsoever. Qualified in P4. By the end of the first lap he was in P3. Managed to get himself he managed to take advantage of the spin from Fungus and also Colin's mistake, and just inherited first place, and he hasn't dropped the ball. Very good performance from Rin. He wasn't able to finish the race in Albert Park, but is coming back very strong as we have yellow flags in sector 3. Might it be GC Fungus with the 4th spin of the session? No, it's not. GC Fungus does get a 5-second penalty for inflicting on the speed limiters. They are both spinning. They are on the wall. Front wing damage for both Jamie and Marcel Leboeuf. And oh my god, the resetter on track. That was fortunate from Absinthe. And Matador also going to move up to a P9. There was contact there. They were getting feisty for a few laps now, both of them. Looks like they have similar, yeah, both of them have the exact same amount of damage, just like Absinthe. All of them have the same, Absinthe, Jamie, and Marcel above have the exact same amount of damage in the exact same side of the front wing. Matador, at this point, might actually see himself move up to a P7, so very crazy end of the race for those guys in the lower half of the top 10. Matador might actually bring home the first points for the Akin Racing team. He was on pace to do so, but only to get P10. He wasn't on pace to get anything above that until Absinthe made a mistake. Then he had the possibility of getting 9th, but now at this point he's up to 9th already and has the possibility of overtaking both Jamie and Absinthe. So of course Jamie has been losing too much time. He's going to the pits and he's just going to concede the place. I don't know if Marcel Leboeuf is going to the pits as well, but Jamie is. Marcel Leboeuf on the background looks like he's also going to pit for softs, and Stingo on the Sweatfest car is promoted. Slouchy Carrot is also promoted. The Dutchman is now occupying the last of the points wing positions. Jamie and Marcel Leboeuf are going to lose time replacing their front wings. They're also going to lose the time of just driving through the pit lane, right? It's much slower, so I don't know if they are going to be able to get back at the points pink positions. Nonetheless, they are still going to battle for who gets P12 as opposed to P13. It's going to be quite interesting, I would say. Slendrix actually jumps Marcel Leboeuf, so there's a couple big gap separating these two, so we might actually not have the battle we were waiting for. And Tingo has actually retired. He was still in the top 10. He has left the session, and Mick might with that grab himself a 10th place finish. Let's find out. It's going to be the AI following him. I don't know if Tingo realized that he didn't get terminal damage, but there was a big mistake from the Sweatfest driver coming out of turn number 7. Lost the rear. That is also a tricky spot for the tires as they are starting to wear out, and unfortunately got caught out. Kalipos, he doesn't have DRS, as it's just over a second behind Colin. Colin, again, didn't point. The Blazing Speed cars did 0 points in the first race. Colin, finishing in the top 5, would be very positive for both himself and the Blazing Speed team. Kalipos in the Royal Red, he didn't score any points at Australia as well, so he's going to try to get himself a kick starting the season, especially as Jamie is not scoring any points. It's going to be a very important help to the team, and only for his championship, because Jamie finished 10th in Australia, so he only has 1 point scored so far. Kalipos is going to get a considerable amount of points over his teammate, so in terms of the inter-teammate rivalry, that is going to give him the advantage as well. Jamie overtook Tingo as Tingo goes into the pits, so Jamie is up to P11, 3 seconds behind Mick. He's on brand new softs as opposed to the worn out hards of Mick. So it's going to be actually quite interesting to see if Jamie can still claim the 10th place finish. Slendrix gets a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately for him. And Recycle Finn is 9.9 seconds away from Sloppy Mafloppy, so I don't see Recycle Finn getting above 3rd place. Still, great performance from him, great way to get himself some damage reduction, not damage reduction, damage control. Of course, Recycle Finn, I believe he also has the fastest lap, so he's going to get that extra point again. So Rin, unless he gets the fastest lap, he is not going to be able to get basically the same results as Recycle Finn. Of course, Recycle is still going to come out of this with the championship lead, as Sloppy Mafloppy finished 2nd in Australia. Looks like he's going to finish 2nd again behind another Rapid Mummy team. So Sloppy Mafloppy finally has the advantage over Recycle Finn, but once again the other Rapid Mummy driver is going to beat the American, and Sloppy Mafloppy is on his way to finishing in 2nd place for the 2nd straight race. Let's see how it goes though. Between Kalipos and Colin, there's still a battle to be had for the last place of the top 5. Let's see how that one goes. Matador has in the meantime moved up to P7, as I was predicting. Slouchy Carrot in 9th. Mick was actually able to get himself into P10 after Jamie and Marcel Leboeuf pitted. Jamie is right on the gearbox of Mick though. We are going to jump from one Royal Red driver to the other. Okay, he's out of the DRS zone, so at the moment he's not really, and there's a mistake from Kalipos at the exit of turn number 12, he loses the rear, and that was it for his chances most likely of getting a move done. Jamie is not waiting any longer. He goes down the inside of the hairpin of turn 8, but Mick, despite having much older tires, is still resisting. There's going to be much better traction from Jamie, who's also going to get the RS. I believe Mick to be a sitting duck at this point. Is he going to be able to resist? It looks like under braking is going to hold down the inside, but he is not able to do so. And Mick is going to concede the last of the point sprint positions. The box driver isn't able to score any points today as well, and the box team overall isn't going to be able to score any points today. Rin has gotten himself in the last lap of the race. Let's actually move, as it looks like he's actually in the last sector. So yeah, qualified himself in P4, best out of the run of the qualifiers on the mediums. So great performance from him. Managed to keep himself out of trouble, benefited from the mistakes all over of all others, and there you have it. Rin crosses over the line to take home the win of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Great performance there from Rin. The Rapid Mami gets their second race win in a row. Sloppy Mafloppy beats Recycle Finn, but isn't able to beat the Rapid Mami drivers yet again. Second place for the American driver of the Git Good team. Recycle Finn, great performance, despite having that incident where he was involved in the second lap. He was able to capitalize on the mistakes of others throughout the race to claim himself P3. Juno was battling for the podium, but just couldn't resist the pace from Recycle Finn, so gets P4. Colin, after not scoring at Australia, he was leading the race. He also bottled it, so to speak. He had a two-stop strategy, but still he also had a mistake there that cost him a potential another place up the order. So P5 for him. Calipos in P6 in the best of the Royal Red drivers. Matadors claiming first points for him, and for the Akin Racing team, brilliant job. Absinthe nursing his car home with that severe amount of damage. He didn't pit like Jamie, and Marcel Above gets himself in P9, and Jamie scraping once again for points after two big mistakes throughout the race. He's going to get himself P10. Mick couldn't survive the pace from Jamie there, as the difference in tires was very big. Gets P11. Marcel Buff and Tingo have been lapped, and Slandrix is the last to cross over the line. P12 for the last of the Akin Racing drivers. So, going to get ourselves in to the podium, and once again, looks like Rin isn't dressed in the same way as his teammate, which is a bit of a shame, but it is indeed a 1-3 finish for the Rapid Mami team, as it is a race win for Rin. First race win for him in the COR F1 split, or the top split of this championship. It's the first win for him, and Recycle Finn gets P3 after his mistake. Once again, the American from the Git Good Racing team cannot beat the Rapid Mamis and is second place. Now, we actually didn't get the final result, so unfortunately the game just trolled us. So yeah guys, this is it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give me a like button. If you did not, the dislike button is, as always, right beside it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. Hit the bell icon for any notifications of whenever I'm about to start a live stream or to post a video. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.